Alrighty, I think we are on. So let's get my computer screen to the image of Jerry Ryan. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to YouTube Live. Right now is past midnight. It's Thursday, February 20th, 2020, and I just finished watching Star Trek Picard Season 1, Episode 5. Titled Stardust City Rag, featuring none other than Jerry Ryan. This image right here from IMDb, courtesy of IMDb. She's back as 7 of 9. So before I go further, heads up, just like with many of my TV reviews, or my just like with many of my reviews of TV shows that have already aired, this too contains spoilers. Just like those reviews, this too contains spoilers. Because why? Because the episode already aired, man. It's already out in the ether. It's already out in the universe. People already have seen it by now. So no need to like walk on eggshells or tiptoe around shit anymore, or like, oh, spoiler alert. No, none of that. This video contains spoilers. So this review is mainly for those of you, my fellow Star Trek Picard fans, who have also seen tonight's episode, or today's episode, I should say, of episode 5, titled Stardust City Rag. All right. I only have a few things on my notes because it's late night. I'm sleepy and I got to go to bed. um, I got to give you a heads up. I never actually was into Star Trek Voyager, nor was I ever into Deep Space Nine. I grew up on Star Trek The Next Generation, and throughout the big chunk of the 90s, I was mostly into the X-Files. Um, and so I did watch some episodes of Voyager because my friends loved them. My old college roommate actually was a huge fan of Voyager. Um, so I watched a few episodes here and there in passing, and mostly because I thought Jerry Ryan was just such a hottie. uh, she was amazingly hot in Voyager in the 90s. And it's fascinating because I think that she came in on that show not like in the first couple of seasons, like I don't know, I forgot what season it was, but then she became like one of the she became like probably next to Janeway, she became like the most familiar face from that show. People are like, oh, you got the thing on the face. That's freaking 709. That's 709. That's 7. Everybody knows that. Um, she's an ex-Borg, of course, and so she in today's episode she boarded the ship. By the way, I just I keep asking you guys, what's the name of the ship? Rios' ship. Now I was like, oh, La Sirena. Thank you. La Sirena, I guess it means the mermaid. But anyway, she boarded the ship, and um, they're on their way to the Free Cloud. And in order to free Bruce Maddox, they had to deal with this one character that apparently she deals with taking Borg parts for money, for business. And we saw the flashback at the beginning of the episode of 709, um, pretty much trying to rescue one of her own, and she failed. I think she came in late. So she pretty much had a vendetta against this character. I can't believe I can. The name escapes me right. The name escapes me right now. I apologize, but so that's pretty much the crux or the gist of today's episode. Plot wise, one note that I made was regarding Rios, the captain. I mean, yeah, the pilot, I should say. he in this episode, it's one of those episodes. I'm sure you, those of you who've watched TNG or Voyager or Deep Space Nine, there will be episodes when the characters would venture into some planet or some civilization, and they have to adapt. And sometimes they would have to play con artists. So that's pretty much what today's episode was, in my opinion. It was kind of like watching Leverage. Do you remember that show, Leverage? It's like con artists show. It was like that. So Rios had to play the part of this bombastic, I guess, a dealer, if you will. And he was actually kind of in on it, like not like in on it, into it. He was very into it, like he was taking it to heart. Granted, could could probably use some more polishing in some of his sways, but why I'm surprised by that is because I thought that he was one of those brooding brute kind of man, macho guys. Like I'm not gonna play dress up, who like I guess the impression that I got was I thought that Rios was kind of like B.A. Baracus. That's how old I am. Do you remember B.A. Baracus from the A Team? It's like, oh, I just do my shit. Don't fly me on a plane. No, no, I'm not wearing dresses for you. Even though there are some episodes where he wore a dress. Um, so that's how I felt. I was like, oh, I thought it was gonna be like that. I thought it was gonna be like hard to convince or hard to persuade. Hey, you gotta play long. We need a person to play this part. But I thought it was gonna be a whole thing with him, but no, he was like he was wearing it. He was rocking the hat, and I don't know. I guess I was surprised by that. I was not expecting somebody like Wash from Firefly. Remember the pilot from Firefly and Serenity? I wasn't expecting Rios to be like Wash, but I was also not expecting him to be that chill about playing a con. And he did really well. Another thing I have on my note, fun note, Patrick Stewart, uh, Jean-Luc Picard. His role, his character in this one, playing the con part, it's funny. It's we got the one-eyed patch thing going, and Elnor, his, I guess you can call him his muscle. It's so, I feel sad for Elnor though. I feel sad for him because he seems like everybody's treating him like he's the idiot. He's the village idiot. But I was like, he's not an idiot. He's just not in tune yet with the things and the lingos and everybody. He's not. He hasn't kept up yet. He hasn't caught on with that. With the way they do things. They, as in like everybody else around him. And so whenever he's like slow to catch on, like, oh, is that what it is? Like, oh, we're just playing pretend. it Whenever he just, the moment that he finally figures it out, like, oh, that's what we're doing. The moment that happens, it is so late in the game that it just gets under everybody's skin, just like rubs everybody the wrong way. And so I feel bad for him. It's not that he's an idiot. He's just, I guess, ignorant. It's just like he doesn't know yet. Emphasize the word yet. Kind of like Captain America after frozen many years in the in ice, and then he got out, and it's like, oh, what's this cell phone? Like, oh, what is this? Oh, what car is that? But then eventually he catches on. So I just feel bad for the guy. I feel bad for the guy because he's pretty hardcore. He's pretty badass. We saw how he fought last week. So it's to have everybody kind of make fun of him or treat him like an idiot. I was like, oh, you don't want to do that, too often because he can kill you in your sleep. He can literally assassinate you. Um, so yeah, that's the thing on my note as well. Okay, so with regards to Rafi and her son, her grown son, I believe his name is Gabe. Sorry, I'm not good with names. That's why it took me a while to figure out the name of Rios' ship. So let me know if the name of Rafi's son is Gabe or not. But anyway, um, that was a pretty heartfelt moment, in my opinion. And the actress who plays Rafi, the name escapes me too. She really gave, that was some acting chops on her part. You got to give her credit where credit is due. I mean, at least for me, I really felt for her. When she's like trying to lay her hand on her own son, and the son kind of like shrieks. I was like, ooh, that's gotta hurt for any parent. I'm not a parent, but if you're a parent and your child is like shrieking away from you, that's gotta sting, man. Um, but yeah, that whole drama thing. I'm glad that they gave the writers gave that for Rafi, because I think up until this point, I was still trying to figure out what Rafi's purpose or function is on the ship. Because you got the pilot, you got the doctor slash assistant in Agnes. Of course, you got Admiral Picard, and I was like, and then you got the muscle, Elnor, and then you wonder like, what's Rafi? Maybe Rafi's a multitasker, multi-functional, multi-purpose kind of character. Maybe she can do a little bit of everything. Maybe she's also the mechanic. um, but so for the writers to give this moment, this heartfelt moment, this is a layer of Rafi that we didn't see. Now we get to see it, and we're like, oh man, it's an empathy generator moment. So if you feel indifferent, or if you felt indifferent, or if you thought that Rafi was not one of your favorites before today's episode, uh, I bet you having watched that moment in today's episode made you like, maybe she's not your favorite yet, but she's close to being it. Like, oh, I feel for her. I'm sad for her, the fact that she's going through this. So that's cool. That's really cool to show that shade of Rafi. The next note I have is Jerry Ryan. Let's get to Jerry Ryan. 709. Again, I did not really watch Star Trek Voyager. Only a few episodes here and there in passing. But I've always thought that 709 was a hottie because Jerry Ryan was a hottie. To see her back, I'm sure those of you Voyager fan, it must have felt like like a sweet nostalgia. In watching her in today's episode, I was talking to my friend who's a big TNG, the Next Generation fan as well, and I was trying to be discussing something objective about Star Trek Picard with her, but she's like, you know what, Rama, if you want to talk objective discussion about Star Trek Picard, you're not gonna get that from me or out of me. I'm not gonna be engaging in that because I just love the show. I love Star Trek The Next Generation so bad that to have Jean-Luc Picard return, you know, after all these years, I mean, I'm just geeking out, man. I'm paraphrasing what she says. Basically, I don't have anything to criticize this show about. All I have is love for this show. So what I'm getting at is that if you are a Voyager fan, I bet you probably seeing 7 of 9 today must have gotten you really geeking out. Like you're like, I don't care if you know, she has this flaw that she wants to kill or revenge. Um, I just love her. I just love her. I love that she's back. So I totally get it if you feel that way. As you know, I'm a sucker for revenge stories. So I love that that is the plot that the writers have for her, for today's episode. And I'm glad that she did get her revenge. Because I totally understand. I totally understand Picard, like, trying to give her that pep talk, and Rio's also try to give her the pep talks, like, hey, you can go after her some other time. And it's like, hey, and Picard says something along the lines like, murder, revenge, it's not gonna give you peace or whatever. And I'm like, why are you talking her down, man? She wants to do this. So I'm glad that the writers do not leave us waiting or hanging in for, like, maybe, oh yeah, the next season that Seven of Nine is gonna get her next season, or Seven of Nine is gonna get her this lady a couple of episodes down the road. It's like, no, we're gonna have her kill the lady right then. So after it's like, oh, I'm gonna get a couple of can I borrow a couple of phasers? You know what she's gonna do with those phasers. Even Picard knows. Um, he's not stupid. So yeah, that was cool. It's like an eye for an eye, sweet sweet vengeance, and it ended with, luckily for us, Seven of Nine surviving, right? She's like blasting out of that place like freaking Sundance and the Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid. So it was like, whoa, that's so cool. But we don't actually see her shot or killed, so you know that she's gonna be appearing again or showing up again uh, later down the road, hopefully. So, and lastly, um, Agnes. I hope I got that name correctly. Let me get the list of names here on IMDb. Where is that? Yes, Agnes Jurati. So it's revealed that Agnes actually has history with Bruce Maddox. So when they rescue Bruce Maddox, you know, your first thought was like, oh my God, this is going to be a sweet, sweet reunion of Agnes and her love, Bruce. Oh, yes, it's going to be so. But man, did you see what she did? Holy crap. She killed the bastard, man. Jeez, croaked him. You know, that friend I told you about that I had conversation about the next generation, that he said, like, yo, I can't look at Star Trek Picard objectively. Well, she told me that that her theory, she theorized that Agnes is secretly bad. It's like she told me, like, oh, Agnes is gotta be a spy. Oh, I don't like her. She rubs me the wrong way. And she's right. Holy crap. I, for one, did not see that coming. Maybe you did. But ooh, what a turn of event, huh? Mm. Yikes. So we'll see how that plays out. But overall, another fantastic episode, and I'm glad that, after last week's, they're making a stop. The story kind of just like pretty much didn't go anywhere. I'm glad that after that, today's episode is like, oh, we're moving somewhere again. So that's cool. Um, so yeah, I mean, Picard's still not any closer to Saji, but hey, at least Picard got some new information out of Bruce. Bruce um, before Agnes killed Bruce, of course. And so that information will become new leads. And I believe that is where they're heading next week. It's going to be awesome. That, by the way, I almost forgot that scene where the I guess you can call it the hologram, right? Like holograms of Entertainment City, like Las Vegas, right? Like there's a shot of Agnes kind of like It's like, oh, I don't want to fight the robots. No, you gotta fight the robot hologram. You gotta punch him in the face, and she punched him. And then you see that whole thing again when Rios arrives in the city. I gotta tell you, when I saw that, my first thought was Blade Runner. It totally looked like Blade Runner. That is so cool. The neon light, the neon drenched city, and freaking holograms everywhere, gigantic ones. Kind of like Las Vegas, futuristic Las Vegas. Um, it does remind me of Blade Runner. What so cool, man! I watched. I mean, today's episode reminds me of Blade Runner. Reminds me of all this show, and I mentioned B.A. Baracus. I mentioned all kinds of stuff. It's I don't know. I don't know about you guys, but Picard really excites within me. All these or brings up these memories of good old days, man. Of not about just Star Trek, but also about other things that I grew up watching. It's just so cool. It's like, oh, these elements, yeah, that's it. That reminds me of that. That reminds me of that. So, such a great show. That's it. Those are the only notes that I have. Oh, look at her. Look at her. Look at this image. Jerry Ryan. Ah, mm-mm-mm. What a woman. Huh? All right, time to go to bed, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let's see here. Okay, I got the and if you also have thoughts about today's episode, did you like it or did you not like it? Let me know what do you think of it. What do you thought of it? In the comment section down below. And as always, subscribe to my channel, press that like button, ring that bell, and if you can help support me, please do so at patreon.com/ramascreen. And stay tuned because on Friday I'll be dropping my video review of Pixar's new movie Onward. Onward! It's gonna be awesome. All right, where's that window? Yeah, okay, let's rock this. There you go.